Hello everyone and welcome back to one more fascinating video about cinema. Today is a very special video because it's my first film review ever in this channel. So I have been thinking a few weeks about this project and I was talking to my friend and I was like, okay, maybe that's the time. Actually, it was her idea. So thank you so much, Angie, for that. So I'm so excited to launch this idea for you guys. And for me, it's more than fair enough to start with one of my favorite videos. As you know, Coraline, the stop motion animation. If you have watched my last video about stop motion, you will see that that film was my favorite ever. And I brought it up that I would eventually do a film review and bring some hidden effects, some theories that we have about this film. We're gonna discuss more about it. I'm so excited. Coraline, I love you girl. So that's how much I am a fan. Look at my case. That's so cute. So nothing makes me happier to talk about films, especially films that I like. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest segment of this channel, Beyond the Screen. Coraline is a 2002 British dark fantasy horror children's novella by author Neil Gaiman. Gaiman started writing Coraline in 1990, and it was published in 2002 by Bloomsbury and HarperCollins. It was awarded in 2003 Hugo Award for Best Novella, the 2003 Nebula Award for Best Novella, and the 2002 Bram Stoker Award for Best Work for Younger Readers. The Guardian ranked Coraline 82nd in its list of 100 best books of the 21st century. Pay attention, right? Not of the year, not of the month, of the century. I mean, that's huge. And it was adapted as a 2009 stop-motion animated film, directed by Henry Selick under the same name, Coraline. Now, a short brief about Coraline. I really recommend if you haven't watched this film to go and watch it first. Save my video for later, but please don't forget me, because we're gonna talk spoilers. Coraline Jones and her parents move into an old house that has been divided into flats. The other tenants include the former actress Mrs. Pink and Mrs. Forcible, which I love them, by the way. They are so funny. And Mr. Bobo, who claims to be training a mouse circus. So as you might know, when you adapt a book story into the cinema, change needs to be made to facilitate the audience comprehension and to enrich the story itself as well. So that's normal. Perhaps the most significant change in the movie is the addition of Wybie. And to be honest, I was shocked that Wybie wasn't there in the book. I haven't read the book, so sorry for that. I will read someday. But it's such an interesting fact that Wybie is not there in the book. He was created for the film, so Coraline wouldn't feel that lonely. Which is crazy because I can't think about Coraline without Wybie. I love him. He's so sweet. So Wybie's presence among Coraline's neighbors adds a helpful layer to Coraline's perspective as she learns how to embrace her new home. It's not just adults and authority figures who she needs to warm up to. To thrive, she'll need to connect with kids at her own age. And of course, Wybie's presence changed the film ending. In the book, Coraline defeats the Mother's Hand by herself. And the subplot involves the fate of Wybie's grandmother, and the grand-aunt helps bring the story into a full circle. So Coraline is dubbed by our star, Dakota Fanning. So, oh my god, I love this girl. She's just so talented. Talent girl since she was a child. She's very present in projects that you probably know, such as Friends, the TV show.
Hi, I'm Joey. My stupid friends are buying this house. Who are you?
I'm Mackenzie. My stupid parents are selling this house.
Charlotte's Web.
Sorry, Fern, but the pig has to go.
No, it's not fair.
Hey.
Can't help being born small.
Twilight as well. Lilo Stitch.
That's my mom. Stitch and Lilo, they want to do the hula together and they're trying to think of all these ideas.
And the list goes on and on. Coraline's blue hair in the movie is a deliberate design choice by the director Henry Selick to make her stand out in the grey world of her new home. He wanted her to be bright and vibrant color, making her feel more connected to the other world. And also the blue hair also contrasts with her natural brown hair, which it's seen as well in the older family photos. So this highlights a change in Coraline's personality, in her grown disconnect from her real life. Okay, so enough of this. Let's go for what you came for. So this is a kind of movie that you probably need to watch like twice, more than 3 times. I've watched like more than 10 times, to be honest, and I'm fascinated about how this movie can catch you. Like, there are so many things hidden in the details that you probably wouldn't pay attention if you watch just once. You need to go deep and deeper and actually watch videos like this, like mine, to be able to have at least a bit of understanding about the end, because the film ends and you go like, okay, what's going on? Like, it's perfect. I love the ending as well, but there are so many questions that pops in your head, you know, like, it's just crazy. So the film starts very creepy. The very creepy scene from a doll being deconstructed and reconstructed by the other mother's hands in the original form, which you can tell by her hands. The doll actually represents her victims and the control that she has over them. It's quite interesting actually when she's making her new victim. As you can see, it's Coraline herself, and you can notice the place is dirty with spider web everywhere. That leads you to think that she hasn't been making a doll for a while. Last time she took her previous victim was a long time ago. And please save this doll before Coraline in your memory, because she's really important to the story, and the story itself will bring it up during the film. So that's the first day in the new house, in the Pig Palace, that's what they call. And Coraline's parents are so into the boring jobs that they don't give attention that a 11-year-old girl would need. She then decides to explore around. Everything is dirty, gray, and sad. It's exactly how Coraline is feeling that particular moment since she left her town and her good friends. So a cat as well keeps following her everywhere she goes, and this cat is very important to the story as well, so please let's not forget about it. So all of a sudden a crazy ball named YB appears with a motorcycle, and she was so upset because he was stalking her and he keeps calling her Caroline instead of Coraline.
It's Coraline.
Caroline what?
Coraline. Coraline Jones.
So you can notice under Coraline in that scene that she's stepping into a mushroom ring, and that thing is real. That thing exists. It's a phenomenon, natural phenomenon. They are linked to witches and the devil as well. Like, wherever you walk around and you find this mushroom ring, it means that danger is around and the danger is after you. So yeah, it's really creepy, but that's just a myth. But I must say that I found very clever, very creative from the creators to bring this up. So when YB is digging the well, he says something very interesting that not everyone got it.
See? It's supposed to be so deep. If you fell to the bottom and looked up, you see a sky full of stars in the middle of the day.
Huh.
What did the YB mean about that? Interesting. Let's find out until the end of this video. So back to her house, her father, very boring, asked her to count how many windows and doors they have in the house, just in order to keep her busy. Now we have a very classic reference here from the film Psycho from 1960, a very classic horror that we have in the cinema nowadays. And when she opened the curtains in the bathroom, there was a clearly reference from that film, and I loved it. Then she finally finds the wall, which eventually would become a portal, but she needs a key to open, which her mother had in the kitchen. But there was nothing there. It's interesting that this key itself has a button at the bottom, so we understand why it might be coming from there soon. In the night, Coraline gets attracted by a mouse, leading her back to the wall, and from that moment, she finds a portal to another world. So she gets in with no hesitation, as a naughty child she is. I think I would too, to be honest. And when she gets to the kitchen, her mother in this world is different. She looks and acts different. Her clothes are clean, and even the cervical collar her mother wears all the time, it's replaced by a turtleneck, so that gives the impression that everything in this world is 100% perfect. Even her father wears a pair of yellow sandals in the fake world, and in the real world, he wears a blue sandals. And blue reminds us of sadness, and yellow happiness. And we clearly saw that on Inside Out movie. In fact, when she finds her father in this world, he is fun. He even plays piano. He makes her laugh, but she immediately thinks how weird that is, as she knows that her parents are nothing like that. This can't be her parents. They are not real. Now, dinner time, my favorite part. That food looks so delicious that makes me hungry right now. So Coraline and her fathers are eating. However, you can notice there, only the mother's plate is empty because she doesn't eat food. She feeds herself, but with other stuff.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
So the other mother gives Coraline a cake which says, "Welcome home." This is fantastic, fantastic, and I will explain why. If you pay attention, the welcome home cake features a double loop on the O, in home but not in welcome. According to graphology, which is the analysis of handwriting, there is actually a meaning behind it. A double loop on a lowercase o means the person who wrote it is lying. This is amazing! I love cinema, guys. And as you can see, welcome home, that is just one word with double loop, which means she is welcome, but she is not home. Absolute cinema. And outside, there is a flash of lightning that if you pause, you can clearly see the shape of the mother's hand, the other mother's hand in her original form, as you could see in the beginning of the film. That shows the audience that the mother controls everything in their world, even the weather. She is a queen. I love her. When she goes to sleep in her bedroom, which is, by the way, beautiful, she wakes up in the real world. She seems disappointed that the portal isn't getting closed. So she started to think that that was just like a dream. But it wasn't. Then she finally meets the neighbors. Mr. Bubble upstairs is training a bunch of mouses from a circle performance that only existed in his head. Very interesting fact about this character that you probably didn't pay attention. His skin is blue and his body is strangely shaped, but it's not explained why in the movie. So you can see that he holds a medal in his chest. But let me tell you what I found out. This has something to do with Chernobyl. The Chernobyl Liquidators Medal was authorized by the Soviet Union, and it was awarded to those who worked in the most dangerous areas of the nuclear plant from April 26, 1986 to December 31st, 1987. The Mr. Bubble simply says to Coraline, "I have a message for you from the mice, and they said for you to not go through the portal ever again." So Coraline was just thinking, okay, maybe he's drunk or he's just crazy.
The mice asked me to give you message.
The jumping mice?
They are saying, do not go through little door.
But that's the real proof that he's telling the truth. Because he say, I wouldn't worry about what they say anyway, because they can't even say your name correctly. They call you Coraline instead of Caroline because he thinks that her name is Caroline. And so that proves that the mice were there and they were right because her name is Coraline. And that's what the mice said. So the mice know that everything is going on in their house.
Sometimes the mice are a little mixed up. They even get your name wrong, you know? They call you Coraline instead of Caroline.
So after that, Coraline meets the former actresses downstairs, which I love them, by the way. They are two ladies that are so crazy and funny as well. After Coraline finished her tea, one of the ladies took her cup to read Coraline's future and she could see a hand, which means she is in danger. So Coraline sees Wibe again and he's so annoying, according to her, but I love him. He tells her that he never entered in the Pig Palace. Even though he lived in the era since always, he said his grandmother does not allow him and his sister disappeared. So despite of all warnings, Coraline still came back to the other world that night And her mother keep cooking and making delicious food for Coraline and make sure Coraline is always full. Her father made a beautiful garden to her, and it's always night, which is quite interesting. It doesn't matter what time they're eating. If it's for breakfast, if it's for lunch, it's always night in that world. There is no day in this world. Now remember when YB said in the beginning of the film, it's so deep, blah blah blah, that you can see stars from that. Well, that was never clear, but the fandom actually thinks that the well could be a portal to this world. It doesn't matter what time you look into the portal, you can see the stars, because the other world is always night. So if you're in the morning and walk into your garden and you look there, it's so deep that you can see the stars, because in the other world it's always night. So maybe that thing is also a portal. We will never know, but I think it was. Now that part is crazy because Coraline met YB of this world, and her mother said, oh, I think you would like more if he didn't speak at all because he's very annoying, blah blah blah. So she sewered his mouth. That's crazy, right? When she goes to visit Mr. Bubble in this world, his dream came true. He has a circus with dancing mice, and the scene is masterpiece, absolutely masterpiece, because imagine the hard work is to make all of these mice puppets to move at the same time. So I'm sure the scene itself took several months to be completed. When Coraline goes to sleep, she's back to the real world, but she's chilled, she's fine, because she knows in the end of the day, she had a better place to go. And she will have a better place to go in the night as well. Anytime that she goes to sleep, she can come back whenever she wants to that world. So she tries to explain to her parents about this world and how she's happy in there, but as you expect, they don't give a damn about it. So Coraline even mentions about a pair of gloves that she wants her mother to get, and her real mother responds, maybe you should tell the other mother to get it for you then. So you can see that she's not even connected to her mother as she is in the fake world. That makes Coraline even angrier and craving for the second mother even more and more. She wants to belong for the second world. It's not about dreaming anymore. She wants to be there all the time and leave this world behind, because nothing makes sense anymore. Not even a decent food they have to make to their daughters, because they are always busy with work. So as we were all expecting, this Coraline's craving for change will lead her to find the portal open during the day as well, and not only during the night like before. That shows that the second mother is desperate to get her at all cost. Once she gets there, there are food ready as usual. It's night, obviously. A new outfit and even a pair of gloves that the other mother didn't want to give it to her. So she leaves the house and she finds the cat of this world. However, this cat can now speak, and he said, oh, I always could speak, blah blah blah. But in the fake world, she couldn't listen to him, of course, because it's real world. So this cat said he can leave, he comes back to this world anytime that he wants. That this world is not a dream as she was thinking.
You probably think this world is a dream come true, but you're wrong. The other YB told me so.
That's nonsense. He can't talk.
Perhaps not to you. We cats, however, have far superior senses than humans.
After Coraline and Wibes watching the actress' performances, which is, by the way, so creepy. This is so creepy, guys, honestly. The parents are waiting for her, and Mother's outfit is different now. She has part of the outfit in her back that reminds of Spider. The second mother invites Coraline to stay there forever, as long as she sews the button in her eyes. That's so creepy. And that is crazy because she even offers a few colors options.
But if you'd prefer pink, or vermilion, or chartreuse, though you might make me jealous.
No way! You're not sewing buttons in my eyes!
Coraline says no, obviously, and goes straight to her bed. Funny fact for you guys is that the second father is asking about food. Are you going to bed before dinner, blah blah blah, because he can only eat when Coraline is around. He is the mother's labor. That is why he seems more weak and different, because he can't eat if she's not there.
I'm going to bed, right now!
Bed?
Before dinner?
Now, Coraline in her bed, imagining she would wake up in the real world? Well, that's not what happens at this time. She's still stuck in the same place. When she wakes up and sees her father, he is in the piano, he looks sad and starved. He's like insane, he's saying some nonsense things. But the piano stops him of saying over because everything in the house is afraid of the mother. She is the boss.
No point. He pulled a long face, and Mother didn't like it.
So Coraline decides to take a walk in order to get rid of that place. But as she walks, she realizes she comes back to the same place. The wise cat says then that the mother only created what would be useful to attract her. There is no way out. The Coraline is back to the living room where the mother was eating some cockroaches. It's crazy, right? It's so disgusting. And Coraline keeps saying, "You are not my mother, you are not my mother." And the mother transforms into a creature. This transition is so smooth. It's so scary scene. And honestly, it's amazing work.
To the count of 3. 1, 2, 3!
Ow! What are you doing? Ow, that hurt!
You may come out when you've learned to be a loving daughter.
So the mother takes Coraline to behind a mirror on the wall. In that moment, Coraline finds all the children that have been kidnapped by the mother. One of them is the child from the opening scene, remember? So that doll from years and years ago, which was the last victim before Coraline, is believed to be the lost sister that Wybie mentioned about his grandmother. Totally makes sense. The children said that they wanted to be part of this world so bad that they want more and more. So they let the mother sew butter in his eyes. But after that, the mother ate their souls. So remember when I said the mother doesn't eat food, she eats souls and also bugs.
But she locked us here and ate up our lives.
So they ask Coraline for help because if Coraline finds where the other mother hides the eyes, they could possibly have at least their soul free instead of being stuck in the mirror forever. So the Wybie from that world saved Coraline from the mirror. When they get to the portal back to the real world, it's all dirty and messy, nothing shiny anymore like before. But now the real parents are not there. That shows that the evil mother is controlling the real world as well, not just the fake world. Because somehow she was able to kidnap Coraline's parent. The Coraline asks for help in the actress' house again. One of the ladies gives an object that would help Coraline to find lost things. Now these ladies, they are such a mystery, guys, because we still don't know if they knew all about that, because the theory says that they did know. So the object that would help Coraline was taken from a candy ball. Can you see the ears over there? We have 3 balls and there were 3 kidnapped kids. These ears are believed to be the ear that each child disappeared from the pig palace. But none of them went too far as Coraline, that could actually be saved from the evil mother. That is the only explanation. The Coraline is advised by the cat that she should challenge the evil mother because she loves games, and she needs to be ready because the mother won't play fair. In order to save her real parents and the child's souls, Coraline confronts the evil mother back in the second world. So they made a deal. If Coraline finds all the eyes, all the children's eyes, and also her parents, she would be free forever, and all of them. But if she didn't, she would be stuck there with the evil mother forever. So when Coraline is seeking for the eyes, she used the object that she got that looks like a piece of glass. I don't know actually what it's called. She noticed everything is gray because there is no life in this world. Everything is dead, but she does find something red and shiny. This is one of the children's eyes. So the first one was found in the garden, and the father even helped her. The second eye with the actress and the jump scare moments. And the third is with Mr. Bubble. The time is ending now, and she must have all the eyes and also her parents. When Coraline gets into the house, that moment is the final battle. Coraline knows her parents are stuck in the snow globe, but she distracts the evil mother saying that they are behind the wall, same place where the portal was, because the evil mother had a key for the door and only her could open. Even one of the children said, "Be smart, it doesn't matter what you do, you will never win, she will kill you anyway."
Be clever, miss. Even if you win, she'll never let you go.
So that moment, Coraline threw the cats towards the evil mother and it scratches her butter eyes. Spooky scenes, guys. So the mother now can't see a thing and Coraline tried to escape. But the mother changed the whole room into a web trap where Coraline ended up falling in it. But she quickly climbed back to the portal. So when Coraline tried to close the door, the mother's hand is cut. So Coraline managed to escape, but that scene where the door is approaching more and more and more and she keeps screaming like, "Don't leave me here, don't leave me here." It's so creepy, like it gives me chill. Now back to her real life. The parents are finally set free. They are covered in snow because they were stuck in the snow globe, but they don't realize that, they don't know that. So even though it's true, only Coraline knows what really happened in there. Well, Coraline and the cats, which by the way, it's mad at her now. So in her bed, Coraline sees the children with the free souls, and it's such a beautiful scene. They thank Coraline for helping them. By the way, this scene is so beautiful because it's inspired in Van Gogh art. So beautiful and well made. But one of the child said that Coraline is still in danger. Like after all of that, why? Because Coraline still had the key to the portal. So if somehow the evil mother has access to that key, she would drag Coraline back to the second world. So a few minutes after, the evil mother hands, which was stuck in the portal between the two worlds, managed to escape from there. So there was an amazing scene where Coraline was outside and YB appeared to help her, and she threw the stone to break the hand. They put it back down to the well, but I think that is still a problem. Remember what I said in the beginning of this video, that this place could also be a portal. Well, if that's true, they actually sent the hand back to her evil mother. But we never know because we never had a sequel of this film, so we don't know if this theory was confirmed or not, but it makes sense. But for me, in my opinion, the evil mother is still there waiting for an opportunity. So the final scene, you can tell they are happier, there is a bit of more color than before, and everybody gathering and helping each other, very cute. And finally, we get to meet YB's grandmother, and that moment it was clear that she actually lost her sister in their house when she was a child. That is why she had this trauma and she never got back to that place again until now. So you can tell now that the garden has a face of the evil mother. So that means that this place has been cursed for many, many years, and the previous owners and whoever lived there before them, they were always aware of this. So the final scene is absolute cinema. Remember that cat said once that he could go and come back from the world whenever he wants. So the evil mother never controlled him, blah, blah, blah. That scene shows us that he's going to another dimension without needing any portal. That's crazy. Like, it's such a mystery. What's with this cat? That shows that the second world is still there, and because the second world still exists, the evil mother still exists, and she's still there waiting for a victim. But what is with this cat? Like, why does he have so much freedom to go, come back, and why the mother, the evil mother, does not attack him? That's crazy. But the fact that the evil mother eats children, that's why her plate was always empty. That's the same concept, by the way, by the story Gretel and Hansel, where the witch attracts children to feed them and with delicious treats, and so she could eat them. Proof of that is the portal itself. In the book, the portal isn't pretty like that. It's supposed to be more creepy. It's like something alive, like a stomach inside out, or a throat when you're like swallowing a food. And imagine you will have a camera on your throat and you you filming yourself eating something, this is the portal, should be like a throat, like eating you alive. This is like how the book describes, but that's crazy. But they just removed this idea to adapt into the cinema because imagine how creepy this would be, very traumatizing for the kids. Now, still about the portal, when Coraline sees the dirty version of the portal, you can see the old shoes, clothes, anything related to children, clothes and accessories. That means that these accessories belong to the children who tried to escape from the evil mother, but with no success, since the mother killed them on the way. That's crazy, right? Oh my god, I've never thought about that when I was watching like for the first or second time, but when I started like searching more about it and read some theories about it, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. That belonged to the children in the past. So there was a very specific scene where the evil mother is cooking breakfast, and you can see the egg has a shape of the Jack skeleton from The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a huge reference since it's the same director. Tim Burton was the main producer of Jack Skellington, but it was Henry Selick who directed both. Interesting, right? Coraline is an example for us of how cinema should be. I feel like in some years from now, people look back and use these stop motion animations as a reference, like, look guys, this was cinema, this is crap, this is cinema, this is crap, this is cinema. And then you can tell the quality of the story, the scenes. These people are so intelligent. I really loved it. So we came to the end, guys. I'm so sorry if the video was too long, but as I said, this is my very first film review, so I did it for experience, but I promise I'll bring you more reviews eventually for you in this channel. So let me know what you think about Coraline in the comments, if you actually were capable to catch some reference in the film when you were watching, or you actually just found out now and you were like, what? I'm sure when you watch again Coraline, you will look with a different perspective. And please let me know if you have a crazy theory about this film as well, like me. Let me know here in the comments. Thank you very much for the support, guys, and see you next week. Bye bye.